back to another episode of the Unsecurity Podcast. I'm host today with here, Brad and I here with our guest Ryan Cloutier. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, good to see you, Brad. Long time listener of the podcast. I think this is maybe episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, you've been on at least once, maybe a couple of times. So welcome back. We're doing our Meet the Mentors series here on the podcast. So, Ryan, this is what, your fifth year?
Fourth or fifth? I'd have to go out because I know you were doing it for a few years before I got to it. And then, I want to say if it's not 4, it's going on 5.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly that goes by.
I personally, I really like it. I actually sent a text to Evan just saying, hey, I'm glad to be able to be back this year. The relationships that I get to have, the ability to, give that time to help others, on the journey. And each one of us brings something different to the table as an instructor, right? So what works for some does another. So, just super stoked to be doing it. It's always a good time. And,
what's so great about having 4+, because Evan is helping out a little more. I don't think he actually taught a class last year, but
rumor has it he's teaching this year.
He's teaching this year, but what's nice is for the attendees is you get different takes every time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you listen to the one, I did security operations. I started domain 7. Well, maybe I said something in a way that you're like, huh? That doesn't, or but maybe you did it last year. That I can go back and listen to how somebody else explains it, and it's kind of cool because we keep all of the recordings out there, so you get to hear different people's tips and tricks, and we all bring a different background, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah, and I think too, this year I have the pleasure of teaching those classes. So I'll be doing security architecture, engineering, software. So the infamous security models, or as I've come to affectionately call them, the Bell, the Biv, and the DeVoe. That's a mental trigger for remembering Bell the Padula, right?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I had to do that one last year. That is just one of the most god-awful, difficult things to go through.
It's pretty brutal. So I'm excited, though. It's for me, it's a challenge, right? It's a chance to take material that is so dry that even the instructors are like, oh, it's dry. Well, and try to, I don't know if I can make it fun, but I'm sure I'm going to try to put some love.
I mean, the problem that I have is it's not relatable in any way. Nobody does it.
We don't even encounter, really. You know what I mean? There's
but it's so critical to understand why we do things the way we do it. I mean, I know why they include it, but so I guess tell me a little bit about what are you doing now? Where are you at? If you can talk about that, what initiatives are you working on?
So so since last year's class, and for those that don't know, I'm Ryan Cloutier, one of the CISSP mentors, a fellow cyber squirrel of all the crazy folks, Evan and Chris, and just crazy cyber stuff. What I'm doing now, though, is I'm actually out at MIT today.
Nice.
I'll be attending the AI Forging of Business seminars, so a chance to get to see what kind of some of the up-and-coming technology is.
Very cool.
Different folks in academia. And what I'm hoping to do is I've been exploring the AI. I've been very focused on what will those security controls be. And I know we have like the NIST framework, and that's great. But just like any framework, right, it only goes so far, right? There's still practical tooling that has to be applied. There's certain monitoring. And when we start talking about some of these emerging technologies, it's a little bit more difficult to figure out what's going on. It's a little bit more difficult to catch something. And with the rise, if you will, of like fraud GPT and scam GPT, right? So if the criminal I know everybody in our industry is trying to get their head around it, but kind of similar to what we were talking about with the, it's so critical to understand it, yet it is very, in some cases, inaccessible, unrelatable. What do
Yeah.
you mean an LLM and this and that? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's been my main focus is trying to, it's the craziest thing ever, keep up for
I know.
1 minute of my career to actually be like fresh and up to date at, at least for 5 minutes, right?
Yeah. I did a talk on the security concerns for healthcare with
Mm-hmm.
generative AI and LLMs. And at the end, there was a panel, and somebody said, "What?" One of the questions was, "What's the coolest thing you've done with AI?" I was like, my slide deck was up, and I used AI to generate images based on the slide titles. I was like, I got to play with AI to create images.
Nice.
No, but there's a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, that's interesting. You have to let me know how that goes.
Yeah, I've been playing with some stuff. I can't get into it too much just yet. But those that know me, imagine if I had an opportunity to help move things forward, help get larger chunks of work. We all talk about asset inventory. So I'll give you the tiniest little peek. What is the most broken things in our industry? What are we failing at? And so I'm here to ask the question: can we use this for that?
Yeah,
You tell me these great miraculous things it can do, and I actually believe a fair amount of it due to my own experimentation. But how do we make that practical? And so I think it'll be interesting for the students, because as I do get into teaching the later classes and we talk about, for example, encryption. Well, encryption is poised to evolve. Um, there's new fractal encryption and quantum, and we talk about quantum
right.
resistance. And while even heck a few weeks ago, our predictions of when this stuff would be ready, days, weeks, months out, now we're, nope, somebody already did it. You just don't know it's there yet. So yeah,
Right.
but that and having fun and helping out the mentor program, just really
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah. So I guess tell us like why you got involved with it. What is your motivation for sacrificing your time?
Yeah, well, so like all the other mentors on the program, I really do care about people. I really feel that it's important for senior professionals um, to do something like this. And so obviously, at the time being within the culture of FRSecure and Security Studio, Evan, really a great inspiration, right? I mean, he, I think, is a catalyst for why a lot of us went, okay, well, if it's working, right? And it kind of was one of those things. And once I got a taste for it, that first year, and really it was probably, I was on the fence, I guess. But about 4 months after we wrapped, I started getting all the messages, all the exclamation. And I was like, because especially during that time in our
Right.
lives, right, during the great toilet paper shortage, uh, okay, I yelled a bunch of stuff into a webcam, right?
Right.
Feel or see the impact. And so once I realized how much we actually help in this program, how far the reach is, how
Mhm.
folks that maybe don't attend the live classes come in later, it almost became a sense of duty, right? It went from, hey, I want to help out because I like to help, to, oh, if this is the impact, then I really feel a sense of duty, because I'm privileged to be in the role I'm in. I'm privileged to have been um, to work on the things I have, to
Right.
be with the folks I get to hang with. And so how do I pass that back down? So that's really what motivates me, and the occasional terrible dad joke.
Yes. I know. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to go look and make sure we haven't reusing a joke
Well, I
for the
threw
year.
I threw it into the chat of the first class. Uh, why does Justin Timberlake like NTP?
Why?
Because it keeps him in sync.
Oh boy.
But bump.
Nice. Oh boy. Wow. That was bad. All right. Well, so with that, jeez, that threw me. I was not prepared for that one. Um, so you're doing a lot with AI. You're giving back. I guess just tell us about you personally. What do you? What I know you've got some cool hobbies.
Yeah.
Let's meet. Ryan, what do you do
So
for your
yeah,
free
so
time?
super cyber squirrel. What do I do? Well, I don't sleep a whole lot, but I love to blacksmith and I weld. I like to fabricate and create. Um, I'm one of those guys that has a million hobbies, loves all of them, does all of them, but kind of rotates through. So
Hmm.
I'll be the dabbling, maybe doing some painting. Um, I just wrapped up building a plasma speaker. So I took a Tesla coil and then I modified it to take the Spotify output as the voltage input.
Oh,
And I was
interesting.
yeah. So like I do a lot of nerdy stuff. I'm a father, have a 25-year-old. I'm a husband, still going, 25 years in. Um, a lot of my time lately has been spent mentoring, helping folks through the career change, helping senior professionals go up another level, helping juniors connect with seniors. And so a lot of what I do in a day uh, kind of evolves and revolves around that. For example, sometimes I work on cars. So if I've got a buddy that maybe needs his brakes done and hasn't learned how to do that, have them come over and do stuff like that. So always looking to help. I'm silly. I'm incredibly silly. Some would argue maybe too much. But also I think one of the things that our industry is lacking is fun. Like
Yeah.
act, because there was a time when it was fun, and then the breaches, and then oh god, and then and it just feels these days. So yeah, I'm always looking to have fun, be silly, lighthearted. My hobbies are evolving with that weird place in life where the kid's out of the home.
Yeah.
I'm in that next phase of my career. Um, as my wife has informed me, I'm now a man of a beekeeping age, so
Nice.
had to up the attire.
There you
Stuff
go.
like
I refuse. I'm just the hoodie still.
oh, I was instructed. So one thing I have to do out here, and it doesn't matter who I meet or anything. If I come home without a hoodie from campus, I'm gonna be
There you go. Nice.
yeah.
Very cool. So one thing that we talked about before is this news article for the Palo Alto, and I know this is going to get you fired up, and that's why I'm doing it. So if you haven't heard, yes, or today it was released that a exploit code for the Palo Alto Networks zero day CVS or CVE 2024 3400 has been released. Um, we've got Watchtower Labs brought it out. Rapid 7 rolled one out. Um, let's see. I think that was it. But yeah, and the patch, the government said patching by the 19th. So now you got a concept, even though it was being exploited, there wasn't a public proof of concept.
Right.
What are your takes on?
So yeah, so we're at an interesting time right now. I actually I'm glad we bring this up because this speaks to some of the things I'm going to be talking about over the next couple of days. What has happened is because our status as practitioners is predicated on credit. I promise you, I've exploited many a thing. Of course, always authorized with signatures and forms. I've discovered plenty of vulnerabilities. For me, ethically, I don't publish. I understand why we do it. I understand that's kind of how you get cred in this biz.
Yeah,
Uh, but I leave that to somebody else because for me, if there's no fix, I'm only perpetuating. Yeah, maybe somebody does know about it, and maybe somebody else is exploiting it, but the automation systems aren't able to execute. Script kiddies can't do something with it. So I guess I'm waffling because I see the value in it, but I do think maybe we need to take a harder look at and perhaps even incentivize not blasting it out, publicly like that until we've had a chance to at least get a little bit ahead of it. I mean,
right.
Palo Alto is connected to stuff that nobody wants being turned off, right? I mean, it's a very common, very popular manufacturer.
Well,
Find it in your hospitals and your water treatment plants, and
a
so
lot of people have gone to it recently because of the issues at the other.
yeah,
vendors.
Well, and I think maybe it's time to start shifting away from security to safety. Is releasing a POC, thus making it that much easier for novice folks or folks who are unaware of that vulnerability? Is that maybe decreasing the safety?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I don't have a good answer. You're right. I am a little whipped up. And mainly it's because, come on, seriously, like, we let's not give the bad guys an extra leg up right now. We
I
have
know.
an
They released it the day after Palo Alto started releasing hot fixes.
nobody,
No, I
nobody.
mean, maybe a handful, right? Like, there's
Oh,
some people.
maybe. I mean, that's a pretty mature change control model. If you I mean, test it because that's
I,
the other concern. Hot fix usually is hot something else.
yeah, right? And, oh, geez, it's tough. I mean, again, I know they're saying, they're justifying it because, hey, it's already being exploited as a 0 day. But uh, I,
And
I
that,
agree with you. It's like
eh,
we're not helping ourselves here.
right. Well, and does two wrongs don't make a right, right? Just
Yeah.
because house is on fire doesn't mean the whole neighborhood should burn.
Yeah.
So but I do think it's on us because if we don't start to talk about how we are valued, how we are, because if we go traditional hacker here, you don't post, you don't have cred, period.
Right.
You didn't
Right.
publish, you don't got cred. And you want that next big job, you want to get that research job, that well-funded, then you better show me what you've published. And,
Right.
you know, I almost wonder if we collectively need to come up with a better way to do that, and maybe that becomes a inner sanctum, a regulated, safe space. I'm not promoting more government regulation, but a community
Well, I
space.
mean, that's isn't it, CISA is uh, just did that for um, what is it? If you find things, they want you to report the malware next gen analysis. That's what it is. And so you know if you find these things, or you can do it as either a login or as anonymous. I mean, if they're already doing that, maybe that becomes where
Well,
that is. 'Cause
how do you spread, right? So I think we still have that catch-22 of how does that help? Like, can maybe CISA, confidently give you a number count or a
yeah,
ranking that doesn't require the actual release of the exploit for
or
you?
once it gets added to like their known exploited vulnerabilities, you could be listed as a source or something, right?
Yeah,
Something where it doesn't actually it credits you for finding a vulnerability. It's validated, right? I mean, it's hard. It would you. It's going to be you.
yep.
That might be something that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Well, we should maybe look into that. I do think we're going to have to get a lot more creative. I think we're a infant of an industry compared to the functions of business that we support. But I almost wonder if 25 years in now, it's time to say, okay, guys, because I don't know about you, but it was a science project, and then I blinked and I had a bunch of gray hair.
I know. I don't know what happened.
Right. I don't think any of us have ever stopped. I know in our friend circles they haven't.
Mm-mm.
Not stopped to pause to go, wait. How much it is still truly the same, and how much is actually different?
Well, and it has changed so much from a technology perspective, but the fundamentals have it. So yeah, it's like, where are we at now? That's a good point.
Well, I'll give you this. On Friday, I'm doing a hackathon, both keynoting as well as running one of the sessions. And the session
Cool.
I'm running is a blue team. So the attack, the exploit has happened against a energy grid PLC.
Okay.
And the audience will actually be able to watch in real time as not the specifics of the attack, but the effects of the attack begin to environment. And we're gonna show them how to start chasing that. How do you catch that first IOC? And you're not even necessarily sure yet. but it's wonky. Something's wonky. And when we're talking power and water, that should be grounds enough to start digging.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so we're going to walk them through it. And that leads me to the next thing. And this is kind of a preview announcement of it. But in partnership with the organization providing me that cyber range, we're going to be kicking off a digital twin initiative. So one thing red teamers have never been able to do is actually complete a full red team. If you're for real, the first thing you do is what's out of scope. And to quote Evan, that's not how attackers attack. They don't. Okay, well, none of us want to actually do it because we know it will work, and then the lights turn off or smoke puffs out of something.
Right.
With this new model, we'll be able to do it. We'll be able to run a complete soup to nuts because it's a digital twin. So same configs, all the way down to the PLCs themselves, fully virtualized. And we're doing that in partnership with a couple of the big universities.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, does that maybe help? Right? Because then we get funding. Why don't we get that exploit, the funding we need to resolve it? Because it's still a risk. It's still, well, yeah, but did you test it? Well, no, we can't. Well, I don't know if I can budget it if you can't prove it. So this is an attempt to try to create that proof to say, no, this is exactly what would happen for real, but it happened in a virtual system. Now, can we please go back and fix it? Maybe open up some architecture changes. Who knows? But yeah, I think the long and short of that is I do believe it's time for us to maybe revisit some of the fundamentals to shore them back up again and reprioritize them, but also be acutely aware of how these evolving technologies like organoid intelligence, quantum, AI, stuff that still sounds kind of futuristic, but it's not.
Not that far away, or is here. Very cool. I'll say that'll be fun. I'm bummed I won't be able to see your because those are so much fun to do, though. Like that's I'm sure you still do capture the flags and stuff too. And I never do write ups for those because I hated doing that for incidents. So no, I'm just doing it for the fun of the thrill of the chase, so to speak.
Yeah, and well, the ones that I did an exercise was I red teamed the red team while they were red teaming.
Oh wow,
that was fun.
How'd that go?
Well, it was the cacophony you would expect, right? So basically, had them chasing their own tails, right? So false positives within their tooling, trying to clone their activities so that they would disregard it as non-malicious because it looks like us.
And, funny.
I only ran a little bit of it, didn't write any of it down because, again, I'm at that stage where I'm still exploring and I don't necessarily want to give too many ideas to people that maybe would use them the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I think there's some fun for us to have still.
Interesting. Very cool. So with all this that you're doing, what's the one thing, and maybe besides AI, what is the one thing that you're most excited about learning? What you see coming? What is your big excitement?
Yeah. The ability to solve new problems at scale. So some of the things that we used to say were unsolvable problems, or you can't solve it in a lifetime kind of problems, we now can. So I think, look, what I'm most excited about is an opportunity to, I did a LinkedIn post earlier. I said it feels very much like the 80s. And then so everybody knew I wasn't an AI. I made a reference to CDs from AOL. Right? But the point is I have that early excitement again. I have that, I can hear them in the background screeching away right now, right? I have that excitement. There's some of the advancements they've made in medicine, some organoid chips that they've got, chiplets, just so much really cool stuff. I mean, when I saw Blackwell come out, what was it, 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago? And literally they said, we broke the laws of physics.
I didn't see that.
So NVIDIA's Blackwell processor?
Yeah.
Boom.
I was not feeling good on Monday, so I'm so far behind.
It's Don't quote me and hold me to it because I don't have it up in front of me, but I want to say it was an 8,000% increase
Oh my
over
gosh.
like 7 years.
I'm
So
gonna
they
have to go find that
Moore's
out.
Moore's law, whoa, and then skyrocket. And
Crazy.
nothing. They've got another one in the works.
Wow.
So yeah, I think I'm excited to if enough of us have learned enough lessons over the last handful of double decade or
I know.
um,
Bless you.
but if we've learned enough lessons and we can with intention and purpose team up, and this is back to the mentor program. Why do we do it? Well, I can assure you during my class I will make a few call outs for things like mental health and learning methods and myself I deal with a spouse, right? There's a component to the work and a component to the study time, and so just really touching on that, but looking at this with fresh eyes, because it's not we're not moving into what is a more mature version of what was. We are actually in some cases moving into new things like holographic displays, volumetric displays.
Yeah.
We've always joked about we wish we could pop the user in the nose for clicking the link. Well, guess what? We might have to do that soon.
Yeah. It squirts them.
Yeah. So, stuff like that. Just re-excited to see what innovation brings, right? What these capabilities and solve some real problems. I think that's probably what I'm most jazzed about, and it's not a single thing, but it is. It's because it's a big ball, but inside of it are a lot of littles. But at the end of the day, it's for example, one of the ones I'm playing with right now is, and I'm not a doctor, not a neuroscientist, right? I'm not a lot of things, but I do have a theory, and that is that you may be able to delay the effects of dementia using an AI chatbot.
Interesting.
Because of the and my baby understanding of these things, but it appears that when you lose that relatable peer, that's when the big kind of
Makes sense.
you don't have that tie back. So stuff like that, yeah, is what I'm really excited about. Is how can we do this, and more importantly, how can I get some other people excited to pick up the torch?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
Big one.
most important thing.
That's kind of like, yeah, no, I think that's a big point of it. And that's a really good point. Is like, you get to a point in your career and it's like, okay, well, now you want to be able to do those fun things, but you can't if there's nobody there to take over the stuff
Right.
you've been doing. So yeah.
Well, and to that point, I actually have with me here one of our mentor students who I've been mentoring for a couple of years now, and the opportunity came up, and it was the application process. I mean, you don't just, unfortunately, they can't have it wide open to everybody, but he was fortunate enough to be accepted, and so getting a chance to actually do that, right? This is a room that most people will need to put a few more years of career in, or have that be their field of study. And so he's going to get an opportunity to interact and learn some of those business acumen skills.
Nice.
How to navigate the room. How do you go get the VC guy to say yes? How do you make the right friend that leads to the next job? So some of the stuff I can't do while we're teaching class, I'm trying to do outside of it.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Ryan. We're coming up on our time here. So thank you very much for joining. We do this, so shout outs. Got any shout outs for anybody?
I'll give a shout out to my mentee, John Gross. I want to give a shout out to our instructors and all the effort they put in, everybody behind the scenes, FRSecure, you, Evan, John, the whole crew. And I want to plug a new friend I'm making friends with, and that's Nexigen. And one of our other instructors also has some work we do with them, and they're just really cool folks that are looking to do stuff. So
Nice. Yeah, I think I'll give. We just had our quarterly meeting, and I'll give a shout out to our two people that got some special recognition, Ben and Tanya. So props to them for getting a little special recognition for their Q1 work. So good job. Excellent. Well, with that, we'll wrap it up, and we'll talk to you next time.